up, guys? Welcome to the Sisterpreneur Podcast, where we discuss all things women, women's health, and business. And I am your curator and host, Sharita. Today, guys, we have somebody here today who is very special in the aesthetics industry. She's been doing this a long time, and she is very seasoned in this area. And we just brought her here today so she can kind of give us her backstory and tell us a little bit about why she does what she does. And today, guys, we have the Brow Bae here. We are so excited to have her. Her story is super, super interesting, and I just wanted to share her with my audience, or share my audience with her, rather. So, okay, tell us your name first. We know you go by the Brow Bae, but we want to know a little bit. We want to go deeper into the surface of who the Brow Bae is and how you came up with the name Brow Bae.
Okay, the Brow Bae name, the idea of brows have just been like ongoing my whole career. But the name itself, really, me and my sisters like were just playing around with Instagram and was like, well, try this, because I think I wanted to be the brow girl, but it was taken on Instagram. Then the brow lady, all of those were taken. And I was and this was like in 2016 when everybody was saying Bae about stuff. And so I was like, okay, let's say the Brow Bae. And she was like, I think it's boring, but I tried it, it worked. And I've been just the Brow Bae ever since.
That's cute. The Brow Bae is cute. And I had seen the name around several times, but I just never, knew who you were exactly. So your real name is
Martique.
Martique. Okay, Martique. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so give us a little background history of how you got into brows.
I'm 46 years old. So at the beginning of my career, probably like in 2003 is when I became professionally licensed. Even in school, like my teachers would say, and this wasn't even when the brows were just like a big thing. But she noticed my passion for it, and she was teaching a lesson on brows one day, and she's like, well as this child does brows, she can do brows for a living. And it was and this is before social media, before anybody, and I was like, wow, because I really felt it, but I had nobody to validate it. And when she validated it, it stuck with me. So from then forward, I became a brow person in school, started working for Supercuts, became the brow girl there. I cut hair as well.
So you're a cosmetologist?
I'm a cosmetologist as well, by trade. I still practice because I love certain components of it. But when she said that you could exclusively do something, that's what I wanted to do. But, back then it was like, get it how you live. Like anybody sit in your hair if they want finger weight. So that's why I stopped and just did something, because I'm too ADHD for that.
Can't do too many things. You got to stick to one thing at a time.
Yes.
I feel you on that.
Too much, no. And that's why, like, even in this industry, I like it even more that we're more online, because you can get to schedule and you can really specifically and hone in on, niches are popular now.
Right.
So it's a thing. Like, you can do it, you can reach enough people, but like back in the day, there wasn't a thing. Like, you just had to
do everything,
and it was hard work. Very hard work.
When I first started, that's how I was, and I was like, I don't think I want to do. I was doing lashes, I was doing facials, I was doing waxing, I was doing anything that I can get my hands on besides pretty much hair and nails. I was doing it, and it's very tiring. So I totally understand that. Okay, so when did you open up the Brow Bae Spa?
So it was a transition. I went in 2016 and did a class for microblading. At this time, I had a hair salon in Whitehaven, like in the hood. And
humble beginnings. It's okay.
Oh yeah, but I made it work. Right. I had people, and so the Brow Bae. So I had that salon, and it just became where when I started doing eyebrows, it was like everybody needed it. It was like a demand. I went live. So now fast forwarding from 2003 when that teacher put it in me to 2016, and we're in the internet. We can go online. We can Google stuff. We can see other things that's going on other than those things that are in our community
Right.
or those around us. We can, and so people are asking for it. They need it. They don't know. And so in 2016, I go take this class, come back to Memphis, scared as I don't know what. And I still went forward because I started offering it to my hair clients. I was like, okay, do y'all want these brows? And I told them that I was going. I did it on myself first. Then I did it on my sister. I did it on her, and I went live. So there we go with the internet that you didn't have in 2003. I want to keep focusing on it because that's what really gets it out there.
Right.
And got it out there in the masses. So I do my sister live. I did an $85 special on microblading.
Wow.
That blew up.
Right.
My only concern at that time was just to get my money back that I had spent to go to the class and spend. I was like, okay, because I was scared.
Mm-hmm.
But they let you know even when you're scared, you move anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You move anyway, shaking and all. Do it.
Right.
And then you have other people that inspire you that you know. And so I had 2 clients who are sisters. They're still my sisters. And they were like, well, they already had tattoo brows, but they weren't satisfied with them. And I was like, well, this technique, y'all, will get that out of there. It won't be as deep. Didn't really know what I was talking about, but they trusted me. And they were like, okay, well, you can't mess us up. Went ahead and did theirs. There I go with like, because I know the concept of brows at this point, the foundation, which is shaping. So, because I've had all these years at Supercuts to just practice on brows, I would just give brows pro bono to clients just as my finishing touch. And then, they would soon come back and ask for me. And so, so I was keeping in practice all of these years. So when this technique came out, it was just about me getting familiar with, tattooing at this point.
Right.
Because things have evolved, and that's what this industry does. And that's why you can't stay stagnant. There's no reason for nobody to be stagnant.
Right.
You can specialize in pinky baby toes if you want to.
No, facts.
Seriously. Like, you don't have to tire yourself out with one thing. Just,
Right.
But it's going to take some practice. It's going to take some, you wanting to do it.
Right.
So 2016, I opened up, I was actually still in that salon in Whitehaven. I opened up another little small suite right off where where I still am now. But I was running 2 at the time. I would go over, but
wow. So you were doing both.
Yeah, I was going, but I soon found out because I wanted to give my clients a different experience. I was in the hood in Whitehaven. This technique is being popular to everyone.
Yeah.
Black people, white people, because we're on the internet. They're calling me. They're like, okay, I got booked like that same month, like when I went live with my sister. I was booked and went up from $85 the next month. I went up to $150. That didn't stop it. That's showing me how much I had to stop doing hair. I couldn't take in the new clients.
Oh, wow.
That same year in 2016. So this is me doubling my income, moving out here off Poplar. I had to close off this salon in Whitehaven. I tried to keep some of my hair clients. I tried to make them understand, sent them over to other stylists that I knew that were reputable. And after that, it was just on since then.
So I recall, like from our phone conversation, you were talking about how there was a need for brows and how these women needed someone to actually care for their brows. So what were you noticing as far as like what was going on with their brows that you said, hey, I need to step in and, become the Brow Bae, essentially?
Again, this is something that I'm noticing because I'm giving this service to pro bono, not the microblading part, because where I trained it, she was like, don't do it for no less than $350. I was like, well, I don't think I can do $350 in my city. I'm going, and I don't think I'm $350 worth right now.
Right.
But I'll practice and get better because this is different skin types. I learned a lot, but I knew the foundation, which was shaping. I knew how to shape just from shaping all those years at Supercuts on pro bono on my clients. But when I saw when I saw the need and said I had to stop was when I was seeing those. So my hair clients, I was doing them pro bono, just shaping. I was short hair, started specializing in short hair only. I would do some weaves, but not so much. and I would see their brows, and I was like, "Where did you go?" Because I took special, you know how like people take special interest in like a puppy or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, how I was like, "What happened to your brows?" And they was like, "Oh, I've been going to the threading shop. I've been going to the nail shop." And by then, I'm like, "Stop, stop." I was seeing them, and these are women in my community
Right.
that I'm seeing get messed off like this. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why? It's because these shops are setting up in our communities, not educating us.
Mm-hmm.
We're not educating ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't know what's going on with our brows. But when brows start, as you age, brows start, you know, I won't say deteriorating, but
Thinning
things
and stuff.
start thinning and getting lighter in color, finer in texture, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and combined with somebody abusing them,
Mm-hmm.
they were getting permanently damaged for brows.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if you're a pet lover, seeing pets
Get
get
abused.
abused, or babies, say you.
Right.
For me, that's how it felt.
Right.
So I was like, no, stop. I'm gonna
Right.
do what I can do.
Right.
And there was, you know, offer it as a service, as a professional in my community. And I can truly say that Memphis has been good to me when it comes to, and I don't know if it was just because of the demand, but that's who been, you know, really supportive. So I haven't,
Well, that's good.
I can say, because I mean, I can be selective with my clientele too.
That's good
Because
too.
we don't do any walk-ins. Everything has to be appointed.
Appointment
You know,
based.
we can do, you know, I say semi walk-in because you can't get a same day appointment.
Okay.
But that's it.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that because a lot of people like to say that, you know, the people in your own city don't support you. So being the fact that you were embraced by your own community with this transition from going from doing hair to doing brows, I think that's major. Like people need to know that people will support you. It's all in, you know, how you present yourself into the community. So
Correct.
that's awesome. I love that. Okay, so I in 2016, I think I was just getting into aesthetic school. Yeah, because I graduated in 2017. So I had no idea about brows, like, or micro shading or anything like that. So I can imagine how people took to that when you said I'm tattooing on brows and I can make them look, you know, natural. Because I remember we talked about how people were going to go get the tattoo brows, but it just looked like a line, you know, going from
There was nothing
the front to
cosmetic
the
about it.
right. It just
Yeah.
looked like, you know, like in the 90s when they just used to draw the little
Yeah.
dark line across. I've seen some before and I was like, ugh, oh my God. And I've actually had my brows done before, but I got them done with the microblading the way they first started with
Right.
the little scalpel like.
Yep.
And I think that's the scariest thing ever now. I'm so glad they have the gun because when I got mine done, I can hear her like scratching the skin
Yeah.
with the blade. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, ugh, I could never do it.
Yeah.
So by the time I actually took the class, they were actually using the gun now. So how did you feel about the transition from microblading to micro shading? I don't think we talked about that before.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, this industry is always evolving. So when you see something and you see how it will work, it's been amazing.
Okay.
That transition, just in the retention that I see, because working with melanated skin, because I'm in a city that's majority Black, so most of my clientele is majority African American women.
Right.
And because we're going only on the first layer of the skin. So you think of the skin and you think of all the other things that's under that first layer. Some people are more oily. Some people are more perspire more. Then we're talking about hormones and skin type and skin products. There's a lot going on under that. You know, the resurfacing of the skin. You know, with certain products. You know. All of that's going on under that first layer of skin. So when you put those strokes in there and you don't have hair over it to cover it, it's kind of like wearing a weave and you don't have any hair to cover the track. So that's how that was. And then the healing process, because, you know, your body's always metabolizing it. And as it metabolizes it, those strokes starts blending in and starts to look splotchy and they blur out. So that, especially if you have oily skin. So with a shading, you can always get like a pencil ombre filled in look. And especially if you have hair on it, it makes it look even more natural. So the transition in melanated with microblading with versus shading in melanated skin, which is mostly my clientele, has been amazing. It really works for everybody.
So tell us the difference between microblading and micro shading for the people who don't know.
Microblading is hair-like strokes. It's really like a phased out technique. It really, the strokes don't last in melanated skin. Because the melanin in your skin is natural, so it's always metabolized and it's going to blur those strokes out, especially if you go, because it's not going deep enough.
Right.
So it's hair strokes. Both of them are tattoo techniques. They both go under the skin, the first layer of the skin. With the strokes, you're using a manual tool. With the micro shading, you're using an electric tool.
Okay.
So, and it's giving you a shaded, filled in look versus hair strokes.
Gotcha. Okay. And I want to get mine done again. I just haven't found anybody that I trust, but from looking on your page, I can tell you know what you're doing. So I'm definitely thinking about making an appointment to go ahead and getting it done, because I love not to have to do my brows. You saw me in there trying to throw my makeup on real quick. It's a task, and a lot of people don't know how to do brows. They don't know how to draw their brows on.
Yeah.
So I think that was like the best thing they could have created when they decided to do micro shading. So people don't have to spend that extra 5 to 10 minutes trying to draw their brows on really quick. So
Right.
I really love it. I'm definitely thinking about booking an appointment with you. So what's next for the Brow Bae? Like where do you see yourself taking your business venture?
I want to get more into the education part, because there are a lot of people out there that have taken these classes, these one-day classes, because if you listen to my story, you can see how long I've been in brows, whether it was with one technique or another one. So these people are jumping in, taking classes, and there's not enough support. And there's just not, brows are complex. They have to be customized for everyone. Each individual has to, and you have to be an expert. So one class most of the time don't do it.
Right. I took one class.
Yeah.
Need to go back.
But you got to be somewhere where you practice. So I just want to get more on the education side of it, just to show people how to do brows for real, so that they don't give up, and get the extra support and get the real reality of how long it's going to take you. And I just believe, just establishing my technique just everywhere.
Yeah.
So that people can really know how to do brows.
Okay.
And then that way the client benefits.
So what do you think the benefits are to the client of micro shading, just getting their brows done by a brow professional versus somebody at the nail shop or the threading shop?
Well, with a professional, there you go. That word, professional.
Right.
It speaks for itself. But it's about creating those professionals, making people respect brows enough to actually want to learn them. And helping those estheticians and those beauty professionals know that you can add this to your menu and really get paid for it.
Yeah.
So especially if, because your clients already trust you. So that's the real benefit of everything. Just providing that service for a client, because they've been abused so long, nobody have told them, and they think that that's the way it goes. But they come out with permanent damaged brows, and that's you don't want permanent damage to anything. I mean, I don't.
Right.
I mean,
of
that
course
includes
not.
my teeth, my hair, my nails, and especially that big part of your face, which is your eyebrows. So.
Yeah, and black women specifically, do not play about their brows. I remember my brow journey, and I can look at some of my old videos when I was waxing people's brows. I showed some of my staff, and they was like, "Wow, like you messed that lady up." But they loved it then. They didn't know. They just
Right.
trusted me. So having a client to trust you is super important because if they trust you, you know, they'll go with whatever you're doing. But I've definitely grown.
And you want to be an expert at that.
Right.
If they're trusting you, you don't want to you know, just don't, what is it, discern their trust or something?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. So how can we find the Brow Bae on social media? How can we contact you if we want to take a class? Tell the people how to find you.
We are at 1034 South Yates Road here in Memphis. This is central to everything here in Memphis, just off Poplar. And you can, all of our stuff is on thebrowbae.com.
Mm-hmm.
Any class information, any services information, you can find us there. Our social media is the Brow Bae 901. That's it. And we're on TikTok.
Hold on. Before we go, let's get into this TikTok. You know, I told you I wanted to get into this. You are doing a series talking about, is it childhood trauma? What actually is the series talking about? Tell us a little bit about that because they might be a little interested trying to kind of get a deep dive into your personal life.
That's a deep dive right there. So yeah, the Diary of a Mad Black Daughter, and this is just the trauma that I faced because in my salon, like I said, I get a lot of, it's sisterhood really. It's just like somewhere where you come chill. We real chill. Everybody know me. You can't be a client if I don't take certain vibes and very selective about the clientele.
Right.
The Diary of a Mad Black Daughter is me just facing my trauma, the mental parts of, because everybody gets cared for. Everybody else, if they have problems and trauma, they got the money to go out to these lavish resort ass rehabs, and you like, dog, I thought she was sprung, but she ain't. She chilling.
Right.
When do we get that?
Right.
We don't get that. We don't even talk about it in our community. And it's so taboo, and it's so, but no, I needed help, and I went and got therapy. And I got a lot of support, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Right.
Because it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can talk about Jesus. Yeah, we can talk about God. I love Jesus. I know I would not be here without Jesus. But God gives everybody gifts. And if he gave me the gifts to care about people, what if there's somebody out there that care about me and want to talk? It's possible.
Right.
I got to feel like I deserve it. I got to feel like I'm worth it. And I am.
You are.
So that's what the Diary of a Mad Black Daughter, again, is just getting it all out there.
Yeah, just being transparent about.
And if you come to my salon, it's I'm transparent, and that's what made me start thinking about it. I was like, okay, everybody will be saying it, like you should be on something, you should, and so I don't let people say this stuff to me too many times because I don't need because it'll turn out that you're looking for validation from certain people, and those certain people don't even have the ability to give it to you. But if God sent this person to tell you, why not just take it from them?
Right.
Instead of waiting on that mama who don't have the ability because she was abused too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to go and get your validation because God made us all. He loves us all.
Right.
And so a lot of people were just saying, Teak, you really help me. Like, you really, and I'm like, well, maybe that's why I went through all of the trauma.
Right.
So I could, because God knew I would be here. He was going to have me here. And my whole aim is to help women, empower women in whichever way that I can. I mean, it may be a side way, but when I start talking to them about their brows, they start seeing the importance of it. Before then, they didn't know. So it's been good. Like I said, I'm reaching everyone.
Right.
And I've always worked in a diverse clientele, so it's just it's amazing, and I love what I do.
Good. That's amazing. I'm happy to hear that, and thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for making brows beautiful again. Thank you for your influence on brows, and I'm sure that all of your clients appreciate it. Make sure that you guys check out the Brow Bae 901 on Instagram. Is it TikTok too? The Brow Bae 901.
Okay, so it's your brow coach if you want brow content. I'll just link my link tree.
Okay, yeah. We're going to link all of that below. But that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow the Brow Bae 901 on all social media. And we are out.